Hello everyone, this is Johannes.
And this is Cinema.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And today we are taking a look at Kokopelli.
Yes, we are. This is a new Stefan Feld game from Queen Games.
It plays from 2 to 4 players in about 45 minutes.
So yeah, new Stefan Feld game. That is something that we are usually really excited about. Even though Stefan Feld's newest game has been like a hit or a miss for us, he's still one of the designers I adore because he made some of the games I enjoy the most actually. So Kokopelli was on Kickstarter. We backed it there. As usual, I didn't look too much into it because I just back things on Kickstarters, especially if it's like it's a new Kickstarter Stefan backed.
Yeah,
that's it. I didn't look at it. I didn't know lots about it. I thought it was like a card game.
So it was a board game, right?
No, it was actually a card game this time.
Yeah.
So it was kind of different from most of the Stefan Feld games because usually makes board games.
Yes.
So let's see how that happens during the review.
Ooh.
Okay, so in Kokopelli, there is no theme. You are playing ceremonies to a village. It's very abstract. Like it has cards on it, which abstract symbols on them. And you are going to place them. So basically on your turn, you're going to have two actions. You're going to either draw cards, you can exchange your whole hand, you can start a new ceremony by playing a card to your village that is not in your play area from before. And that gives you an ability. So the cards you have in front of you, up to 4 or 5 in a 2-player game, gives you abilities that are passive and makes the things you do better. The thing that is interesting is that you have 4 spaces in front of you, and also your play area consists of the two closest spaces from the player to the right and the 2 closest spaces to the player to the left. So if you're playing a 2-player game, that means 4 other than 5 spaces when you are. This is very abstract, but that is how the game makes sense. So you're going to play cards on your own ceremonies, you're going to play cards on the other player's ceremonies, and you're going to try to get the most points, because when you finish a ceremony, you're going to score points, and then you're going to score points depending on the different abilities and actions that you have. And that is basically what you're going to do. You're going to continue doing that until either one player has depleted their draw deck, or until a set number of these ceremonies have been scored 2 times, depending on the number of players. And the player with the most points is, you guessed it, the winner. Of Kokopelli.
Yes.
So let's start talking about the artwork and the components.
I feel like the artwork and components are very basic, very simple.
Yes.
It has like this is one card. It has a color, so there are different colors. I like that, but it also has different symbols, and they're very easy to spot far away if you're sitting like at a very big table. No, because if you have like this symbol in your play area, and I can play on that, I'm not allowed to start a new ceremony with that. So it's very important actually to see which cards are which, and also which scorings that aren't taken already that you will get more points for if you finish. And also then it helps you also keep a little bit of track of what abilities the other players have.
Absolutely.
But other than that, it feels very, very basic.
It is, absolutely. But I do like the look of it. I like how it looks. I like these little like symbols with the circles. I like the components there. It feels like the theme is non-existent, but it looks good on the table.
And I also like that it has like a symbol for what the card does on top, but also a like pure text down here. So you don't need the rules for very much because everything is kind of on the cards.
Yeah, there is a rule reference, and I think used at most for remembering what other players are. Like you see the color, and before you after you play it a couple of times, you're going to remember the different abilities.
Yeah.
But when you play the first time, it's really good to have that piece of paper that when you play a color, I'm going to be, and if I don't have it in my hand, I'm going to be like, oh, okay, that's that one. And that is really, really good.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think the artwork and components is more like functionality over like looking amazing, but I do like the artwork, the simple artwork and the symbols makes it, I do enjoy looking at it. Let's talk about the playtime and player count. We have played 2 and 4 players. We have not gotten to play 3 players. It's not easy to get to play all different player counts, how things still are, just so you know it. That's why we are upfront with that. We have played it in between 20 and 40 minutes. The box has like 45 minutes, and 20-25 minutes with 2 players is really good, and then a 40 minutes, which is what the box says with the full player count, that is
great.
Very good.
Yeah.
It flows really nice. It doesn't overstay its welcome. I felt for me, of those 2 player counts, 2 players was the best. And that was surprising because when I read the rules and I saw what the game was about, I was like, oh, it's not going to work really well with 2. And we sat down and spoiler alert, I was really surprised about how good it was. And it worked really well with 2. And for me, 2 players was better than 4. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I really liked it with 2 as well. I think I would like it with 3 also.
Yes.
Because you have then one more person to play your cards to.
Yeah.
Which results in the same number of spaces, but when there's 2 players, you can have like different combos, kind of.
Yes,
With 4 players, there's basically one person like across the table that I'm not interacting with at all. That made the downtime like more present in the game for me, because I didn't care a lot of what that person did.
Nope.
And there's not a lot of downtime in this game at all.
No, it's a 4-minute game, yeah.
Yeah, it flows very quickly, but your turns are so fast and simple, and the actions are so fast and simple that with 2 it was just like bam, 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 and I like that rhythm a little bit better.
Yeah, I think so. I think like a three-player game in 30 minutes is going to be like where this game is really at its best. So I think 2 players, and I've said we haven't played 3 players, but from basically we have played 3 players because 4 players is 3 players just with another player that you don't interact with.
Yeah.
So if you just take that person away, it's going to be the same game, but that you all interact with each other, which is really, really nice. So let's talk about the gameplay.
Yes.
Because that is where it's at. That's the most important thing. I really like this game. I think it really, when I started playing it, it's like, oh, there is a lot of different things here that's very interesting. So there is a lot of depth here for being a super simple game where you do 2 actions and those actions are very, very simple. What makes this game, like this is one of those games when you explain the basic thing and you say like, and if that was it would be really boring. But then every single card you play has an ability. And that's what makes this game be anything else than just playing symbols on symbols, playing like multiplayer solitaire. In an actual, you're playing a multiplayer game of solitaire. So the abilities is what makes the game really, really neat. Because you can have up to 4, most time, 4 abilities in front of you. And you want to have them there, and then basically you would rather play cards on other players' ceremonies to close them and get those discarded so that they lose their abilities. But then when you're getting to a point, you're gonna feel like, oh, I have these 2 cards that I can close this ceremony, because you need 4 cards to close the ceremony. So let's say there are 2 cards in one of my ceremonies, and I have 2 cards I can stop it with. I'm gonna be like, oh, the balance of, do I want this ability more? Do I want the points? So it's getting to the point where I'm gonna be like, oh no, I'm just gonna take the point before you suddenly boom place them and get those points from me. So that really makes the game has many really meaningful decisions, and it also makes the game throughout the game change up, because the abilities you have change how you play, and abilities you have are going to change throughout the game.
Yeah, I agree, and that was more meaty than I thought. I didn't get that at all the first time I played. I was just like setting all these cool combos, I thought, and you were just like playing one card in my ceremony. I was just like, you can do that.
Yes.
So I also like that a lot. I think that trying to see what abilities I want for myself, but also like sometimes I'm getting quite annoyed that I have like a full plate of ceremonies, because I would just get a card and I would just like, oh, I want this ability.
And then you could do an action which takes away a ceremony and open a new one. Which is kind of like the use for that one to get a new ability.
Yeah, but then you also kind of want to, not set yourself up for others to score your ceremony, so you can have your abilities longer. I really like the fact that if you're at any point like empty of cards in your hand, is that?
No cards in your hand,
No cards in your hand, then you automatically get 3, like the standard, and you get a point for it. So that makes the game also flow faster, so you can do more stuff.
Yeah, and depending on what actions you have, other actions, like if you have this action, no, not that action, but another one action that makes you draw 2 cards, you might rather do the draw action, and then you have like different reasons for doing the different actions, depending on some actions. Some cards makes you wanna have no cards in hand, and others it's better to draw many cards because you can draw more of them easier and you can spend them in better ways.
Yeah.
So there are quite a few of these ceremonies in the game. There are 16 in the base game. You use 10 every time, and then there's an expansion, which it's Queen Games, so it's going to be easily to get it, I think, for a while at least, which has 9 more. And the expansion is called Expansion 1, so probably might be more expansion. But let's just say the 16 in the base game. How do you feel like the game will be different when you play it with those, like when you just take 10 randomly and you play with them? How different will that make the game, you think?
I think it will make it different, or I felt that. Yes. It doesn't like...
Stefan felt that?
But it's not, it's still the same game.
Yes.
It doesn't change like, oh, now it's not like, what do you call it?
It's not like, oh no, I'm playing Coast of Burgundy.
Yeah. Yeah, so it doesn't like change the rules very heavily, but it influences the rules, so it makes me kind of want to have a different play style. Yes. With some what do you call it, ceremonies in the game, and some without. There's always these Kokopelli cards in your deck, which are basically jokers, and I also like that because then you're able to have a little more freedom.
Because you only have 3 of each of the other cards in your deck. I really feel like what it does with the different sets that you can make is to try to make combos of what you have.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing like if people play this and they enjoy it, they might like make preferred sets. Like these sets are really cool. You can try to do these combos, which would kind of make the game kind of broken or meta. But I really enjoy like seeing, oh, this will work really well with this card. Yeah. So when you get those 2 in hands, I'll go, that's a really cool combo, and you can make these different combos to make the game different each time. So I feel like the replay value is pretty high here.
In terms of this being a Feld game,
is it?
Yeah, it is. It doesn't feel like it though.
No.
When I think of a Feld game, I think of like, for example, Castle of Burgundy with some resource management or some like,
and a salad.
Yeah,
a big salad.
More elements. This is very simple and abstract for a Feld game to be, and it more. I'm surprised actually that this is one of his designs, but I'm pleased with it as well. I think it's cool that he's trying to do, I don't know, new stuff.
Yes.
And I think this was a different game from him, but still a good game. Yeah,
because different is not always good. This time it was actually good. I agree. This is not like, oh, there's so many Feld elements here, because many times you play a game especially from Stefan Feld, Uwe Rosenberg, and those people who make kind of like the same genres of game most times, and this was very different, like you just said. Yes. So, do you want to do final thoughts?
Yes, you can start.
I can start?
Yeah.
Is that something new? Okay, so Kokopelli surprised me by being very good. I like, it was Stefan Feld, so I of course had my hopes, but I'm trying not to, because he has burned me before. But I really enjoyed this. I felt like, again, it's a very short game. It's a light tactical game, and sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you're gonna draw the card and be like, oh, exactly the card I need. But the chances, you only have a 36 card deck, so that means that from the beginning the chances are pretty high to get what you want, and the lower down you get, the more chances are you're going to get what you want. So it's not like super random either. And I really just enjoy the card play. I enjoy the tactical, trying to set up, trying to do my combos, trying to like think, oh, I have this one, do I want to play it on mine now, so there's 2 there so you can finish it, or is it not that important for me, but I want to just draw a card and see if I next turn can do something else. And because I'm not going to get a point from just playing this card on myself, why do I want to do that? And then those balances really make the game interesting, engaging, and fun to play every time we play it. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to give this game an 8.5. I think it's a very good game. It's so good to play these great games coming out this year. So Kokopelli, highly recommended from me.
Yeah, I really like this game as well. I didn't think like a lot of... I didn't think a lot about it beforehand because the box doesn't look Feld, the game rules doesn't feel Feld, so I was just like, oh, I can expect anything from this. And also we played it first in 2-player, so we didn't have like high hopes for the 2-player game, or you didn't, so I kind of, I had no idea, but I really enjoyed it, and the more kind of I play it, the more I see that there is different things to explore with this game. For example, if I'm sitting with 1 card on my hand, I really want to like get rid of that card so I can automatically get more possibilities, but then I'm kind of setting you up to complete a ceremony, and I don't want that. So I think it's a really good game as well. I'm gonna give it an 8.
That is awesome. That is another good game from Stefan Feld. That is really great. Now we're just waiting for the City Collection to see the remakes of older games he have made.
Yes.
Waiting for that from Kickstarter as well. So I think it's going to come this year. So if it does, we're going to talk about it.
Yay!
So that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you are still here and you have not subscribed, please do so now. It's free, it's fun. Just click the subscribe button, click the bell button to get notifications when we put out a video.
Yay!
And if you want to do something that's not free but still fun, you can go to patreon.com/boardgamingramblings and help us out there. That means so much to us. And that is the actual end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Johannes.
I'm Sunniva.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye bye.